Brian. It's an absolute honor to meet you.
Same, same.
Oh, thank you. Dope Thief had me on a roller coaster of emotions. One of the things I was very impressed to know was that you are executive producer on this and
Yes.
you're acting. So what was that like being in front and behind the camera?
Schizophrenic.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like to split being on the set and then also to EPing it. There's no rule book of how you do it, right? Like usually when the actors are EPs, they usually do it by name, but like for me, I really wanted to be in there. Like I was there for picking the music, looking at what locations look like, talking to costumes. Like I was nosy. Like I was like, I want to know what that does. Like, where does this go? That's just how I've always been. And
Yeah.
so like it was really great that I was able to come to this project with them giving me the opportunity to do that.
Oh, I love that. And I
Yeah.
can tell because the attention to details, even to the scenes and how you were in them, I
Thank you.
felt it.
Thank you.
You once said that within 5 pages, you already know that the role is for you. So as we would
Yeah.
say, how did you know the character of Ray was a bit of me?
Yeah, a bit of me. I love that phrase. There was a few things because at the point in my career when I got it, I wanted to take a step back from television. Not that I didn't respect television, but television is hard to do episodics. And so I just wrapped the final season of Atlanta, and then I was filming this series called Class of '09, where I'm literally playing a character who is in past, present, and future. And I was like, need break. I need a break. But when my manager gave me this script, there was something about Ray that just stood out. One, you were dealing with this character that was going through all this generational trauma. Two, he's doing this scheme. Like I was like, we pretend to be a DA agent. Like, what are we doing here? And then third, like I knew I hadn't been challenged with a character like this before. So there was something that was really intriguing about that. Also, he reflected a lot of parts of me that I have been working through, like dealing with the generational trauma, dealing with grief, all these things. And I hadn't seen a character like that before, especially a Black character. And so I knew that I wanted to step into the lead, but I also knew I wanted to kind of lay a lot of burdens down too, because I was like, I feel like I've done the work where I can lay this down. Maybe I can do this and help Ray in a way. And also, executive producer didn't hurt. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I was like,
No, no,
oh,
no.
say less. This is great. But yeah, those were the main things that really intrigued me. On top of the writing, Peter Craig is phenomenal, and working with Ridley Scott, I was like, I need to just go ahead and tick that box as well. So all those things came together to make me really know that I had to do it.
I felt so much about Ray because to me, he's just a good guy that makes bad decisions.
He's your cousin. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
we all. I wanted people to feel like they could relate to Ray
Yeah.
in a way, because every time I was reading, I was like, Ray, come on, man, like why, like. But at the end of the day, he was doing all of this stuff, I believe, truly for love. Like I
Yeah.
believe the story in Dope Thief is really a love story between these two men who you see have been incarcerated since they were 15, put in a system that told them they couldn't be anything, trying to find a way to survive in that system. In the city of Philadelphia, where there's just as many prisons as there are museums, and what that looks like. And I know the trope of putting a Black and a brown man together, and there's violence and there's drugs, and we've seen that. And so what I really wanted to do was just elevate that and really show a story of friendship and family. Yes, there's explosions. Yes, I'm being shot at. Yes, but at the same time, it just felt really thrilling. It,
Yeah.
it felt really thrilling, and I wanted viewers week after week to see that. There's also so much humor in the show as well, right? Like, and so I just thought that it would be a really good genre bend in a way to follow Ray and his exploits of just trying to survive in Philly.
No, I got the sense of survival. There's one thing in regards to sense of survival. Why does Ray keep mentioning the importance of having a command voice? Because he's mentioned it a couple
You
times.
got a command voice. We all have to have a command voice. Like
Yeah.
at some point in our lives, we all have to, like think about our moms, right? Like think
Good.
about like if you leave the door open when the air conditioner is on and she's like, "Don't let my air out." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that exactly what that,
Yeah.
but it's something that we can relate to. I think us, especially as Black people, always have to split, right? Like there's always the parts of us where we're this way amongst our own and this way when we're in different settings. We have to find a way to find that dichotomy. And I think with Ray, it's no different because here he is. He knows what he's doing as a ruse. He knows that he is going into these places that he has probably inhabited, probably been in prison with, these guys. And so he has to kind of project that kind of certainty, is what he says, project certainty. Everybody wants to feel like everybody responds to authority in a certain way. And so he creates this. No, here's the other thing. They're playing dress up. Like at the end of the day, there's still two guys doing what kids do, playing dress up and doing. It's no different than we play cops and robbers and we pretend to be like fire. It's just another part of yourself that you. But I know you for sure. Oh, come on. I know you at some point have had to be like, look now, like, hey, to get people to really, especially black women, like I know y'all got to come in, like, and I'm just like, I get it, like I absolutely get it. It just sets a line of like where to go with me. You know what I mean? We all have it, and you see it in the show with Ray, like, but it's also funny because he also responds to that, right? Because like if you think about it, he's been in prison. And so there's always that thing of like having to do what somebody tells you to do. I don't know about you, but I don't like being told to do.
Yeah, I
don't like that. I realize as I get older, I don't like nobody tell me what to do. I do what I want. And so, but like he realizes in this scheme that in order to have control, he has to do this command voice. But it's always so funny because I'm like, the way he thinks his command voice is supposed to be, it's so interesting. But yeah, we all got one.
Yeah, I need to get my inner command voice more
diaphragm.
Often. It's from here.
My command voice is really not even my voice. It's just my look. Like I'd rather just.
I see it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you get that little squint, you know exactly.
I just want to give you the money now.
You know what I mean? Just like,
I love that. I want to talk about the emotional roller coaster you had me on.
Yeah.
Your relationship with your dad and your mom or stepmom and then Manny, your friend. But there was a line you said that left me breathless. When you said, you killed me 1,000 times over. And how were you able to tap into that character of Ray?
Yeah. It's interesting. This particular role was very close. It was very close to me. Like it was very close to me. I had a lot of things that I was trying to unpack with my father, my father personally. And this role helped me with that. So you see that Ray has had an estranged relationship with his father because his father is also incarcerated. His father is also about that life, living in the street. His father wasn't there. And so you were watching a young man still dealing with the rejection he felt as a boy. And I think that that's something that is always happening. Here we are, these young black men trying to figure out how to be men. And we haven't figured out how to, I don't know, understand what's going on with our past when it relates to our fathers. And so you found Ray in this place of constantly trying to make amends in a way with what his father was and what his father could be. And I found myself doing that in my own personal life as well. Like it was always just like, who am I without my father? Okay. Who am I without my dad? Am I my father inevitably? Because the crazy part is like I look in the mirror every day and I'm like, oh my God, look at my dad, look at my father. There's no running from it. And so I just really wanted to understand what that was. I wanted to give Ray a place to lay those burdens down. I wanted him to come to some kind of finality of his emotions and his grievances. And it was played brilliantly by Ving. I mean, like the stuff that Ray has to go through with his father, like Ving was serving it left and right. Like it was nothing. Like he was just like, it was just like to him. And it's real. Like there's a scene, where I visit him in jail, that scene between them and the glass that it was all the stuff I wanted to say to my dad. It was all the things that I really wanted to say to my father. And then if you look closely, you'll see my reflection reflecting over Ving's face and then vice versa. And I was like, oh, this is just a whole nother, but I just hope that it, in a way, shine light on the, those of us who are trying to figure out those paths with our fathers.
No, you definitely did. Lastly, I could be a bit cheeky asking this,
Please
but I am sat with an executive producer.
Thank you.
If we do, fingers crossed, get a season 2, do you think Ray will ever get to the point of accepting love?
Oh, these are deep.
Because he struggles with it.
He's struggling with it. I think he's doing everything because of love, right? Like he's searching for it in such a way. I hope he does.
Yeah, me too.
But I think it all has to be self-love. I think that that's been the one thing that I was struggling with. Not struggle is a hard word. That I was searching for Ray is for him to find a place to love himself. Because it seems like everything he's doing in the show is for the love of others. And I think it's to stop him from being able to like really seek love for himself. So I hope that he finds that truly.
And season 2?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, man. If the people keep watching, who knows?
Who knows? Brian, it's been an absolute blessing being able to sit here and speak to you.
Family.
Love that. Love
Pleasure,
that so much.
pleasure, Queen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.